I'm feeling quite nervous, quite anxious, but positive, excited as well. Just ready to answer some questions and offer whatever assistance I can give with my heart. I've always been able to sort of speak off-court, weddings and best man and things like that. I do feel I am quite loquacious and not, but I'm like a bumblebee in a greenhouse. I'll ramble on for hours over that if I have to. I've met people from stately homes, castles. I've met people that's lived in skips, wheelie bins. A friend of mine, when we were working abroad, he ended up living in a wheelie bin for a week. I know I can't mention his name on here because I'm sure he'll come to wind of this, but he lived in a phone box for 3 days. But they come from all aspects of life. From my experience of being homeless and the people I've met that are in the same boat, I would say that the main reasons that they've become homeless would be crime, addiction, redundancy, relationship breakups, maladaptive coping skills, which a lot of mine came from when I was a child. It was just to escape and run away, and which is how I became homeless. I just couldn't stand any more of the abuse that I was getting at home, and I just up sticks and went. My sister went when I was 14 and I followed her. I stuck it out when I was 16 till vice versa, 16, 14, 15 I think I was when I ran away. Just domestic violence, homelessness. It can happen to anyone, from the prestige of a stately castle owner to a stereotypical down and out such as someone living in a grubby cardboard box under a motorway underpass. It can never happen to me as a fallacy, and more importantly, people forget that they are human beings, the onlookers. I would like to think that they could think, I wonder what it's like living in their shoes, and really those empty eyes are just searching for empathy, really, not sympathy as such, just a polite hello or a smile of recognition that you are existing, you are surviving, and not that sickly, embarrassed, can't hold your eye contact avoidance and crossing the street from you. I'd like people to feel that. So if I could give them a tablet and say, listen, feel like this for 10 minutes, this is what it feels like, you wouldn't take another. Why do you volunteer for Let's Be Friends? I was introduced by a friend and he just said, I'd like to go here. I said, what is it? He said, well, just go along and see. He said, it's the people I want you to meet, Steve. He said, it's not the actual concept of what you're doing, it's the people. So that sort of entrusted me. It did help me no end. I was encouraged slowly and compassionately to return to some form of humanity. I realised my hedonism and materialistic ambitions was turning me into a monster. I realised I was not happy in my own skin, and eventually people saw me for me, but I still hated myself. And to empower me to help others, a cliche I know, I wanted to give something back. I was humbled by the people I met that required the same help as I once did, and I suppose that I felt useful. I identified with them, and to be truthful, I didn't actually know what happened. I just seemed to find myself, became at peace with myself, really, and just happy. Through Let's Be Friends, I met a chap. He's a funny little soul, but when I first met him, gelled with him. We had something in common that I don't know, I find that I can do that wherever I go. I find a common denominator, but I was happy to listen to him. I think once you've been hurt, you can pass it on to somebody else and genuinely say, I know how you feel. The 3 words that I would use to describe being homeless, if you could only use 3, cold, cold, cold. But seriously, well, 1 has got to be cold. I can't stick to 3. Dishevelled, vagrant, abandoned, and unpitied cast that people give you. And I was with somebody and they said, what are you giving him a brew for? He said, why didn't you get a job? And it infuriated me. And part of that reason is one from my experience. I met a chap that was, to look at him, he looked like Father Christmas. He smelt like he'd been Father Christmas and dead for 10 years. He used to sit in Lancaster centre and just sit quietly and watch the world go by. And it turned out, eventually there was an obituary, or it was in the paper, or rumour got round that he'd passed away. And it turned out he was a well-renowned chemist. No idea what his story was. Really, I'm becoming happier now. and that is priceless to me. I couldn't, if I won lottery, I wouldn't be happy, as happy as I am now. So that's it.